John, we had a question come in from MrMo.net, and he asks, what should a writer know about story in the age of binge viewing, such as some of the Netflix series that are out right now, and House of Cards, things like that?
The advent of serials has totally changed not just how story works in television, but how viewers react to that, how viewers experience television. Now, binge viewing, of course, doesn't exist when we're talking about, say, a detective show, a standalone show. You wouldn't sit there and watch 10 episodes of Castle because every one of those is essentially the same story. Binge viewing happens when you have a serial, whether it's in drama or in comedy. And these these sorts of shows are a good example of that. I remember last summer, AMC put on Breaking Bad from the very beginning to their most recent episode. Now, when Breaking Bad first came out, I wasn't interested in watching it. I thought, oh, this is another show about a guy who sells drugs. You know, who needs to see this? It's going to be the same old thing. Well, when they put it on one a day, which essentially allowed me to binge view for a month and a half on Breaking Bad, the experience of that show was totally different. Because what I was able to see is not only why this is one of the greatest TV shows that has ever been done, but I got to see why it's one of the greatest shows ever done. And it had to do with the ability of that writing staff to not only write great individual episodes, but to sequence the episodes over the course of the season and ultimately over the course of the entire show. And it was almost like wine tasting, and I think that's what binge viewing is like. Because when you're wine tasting, you immediately get to compare these different wines, and it becomes very clear why this wine is better than that wine. When you do binge viewing, you get to the links between the episodes become much clearer, and you see the true artistry of these storytellers in their ability to build a series of episodes to the climactic final episode of that season, and then to withhold certain things that have to be withheld to set up the opening episode of the next season. And so this whole use of the serial writing is causing people to have an entirely different experience of how they watch television and how they appreciate television, because I think this is also one of the places where people are realizing that the best story work in American entertainment business is in television right now. And by the way, I do classes all over the world. The single biggest interest wherever I go is to talk about and understand American television, because they understand that the quality of American television is the highest it has ever been, it is the best in the world, and they want to know how can they do it too.